Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading. This is your bonus reading for August, and we're going to do the main events for August here, Taurus. We're going to look at this triple conjunction we're having on, well, technically it's already happening, but all these planets, Mars, Uranus, and the North Node will, on the 1st, be at 18 degrees in Taurus, in your sign, and so we're going to take a look at what that's going to mean for you as well. Next, we are going to look at the full moon in Aquarius that will be happening on August 11th, and we're just going to see what's coming up for you there. A lot of people, it's interesting, you have this this well card which talks about family, and a lot of people, for whatever reason, it's been talking about family. Next, we're going to look at the Uranus retrograde on the 24th of the month, and we'll be seeing what is going on for you there. And finally, we're going to look at the new moon in Virgo. That's going to be on the 27th at the end of the month for you here. And as I've said to everybody else, obviously this isn't all the things that are going on in the astrology. I'm just covering some of the big things that are going on in the astrology for everyone this month. And let me know what you think of these main events readings is what I'm going to call them. In your first position here for the first of the month with the triple conjunction, even though, again, technically it's already kind of not really conjunct, they're just on top of each other at 18 degrees. You have this standing stones card. It says passage. And you also have this eagle. It says triumph over obstacles. So love that. You could be going through some sort of energetic gateway where you're overcoming obstacles or you're kind of overcoming something. I kind of get the feeling that this is something where maybe you just haven't really had many answers. It's like sometimes I think we bump up against an obstacle and we're not really sure like that there is anything we can do about it. You know, maybe we have an issue and we just think it's too big, or, you know, maybe we think there's just no way around it. So I feel that this conjunction is actually going to be really good for you. I feel it's going to show you ways to kind of break through or have some sort of breakthrough here. Kind of is striking me as a breakthrough reading in general. In your first row, you have the Death card, the King of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Again, there's a change coming in for you. And, you know, the thing about the Death card is that there's this white rose on his flag or his banner there. The white rose on the Death card kind of represents that, you know, like the pinprick of light in the darkness, you know. When in the darkness, just any amount of light chases the darkness away. And so I kind of wouldn't really say this is like a light at the end of the tunnel, but I would say that this is some light in the darkness, especially if you've been through a period of darkness recently, or if you feel like things haven't been working out for you in general. I feel this is a good thing. You're one of the only signs also that really truly has love showing up in the reading. Again, I don't really do love readings unless it shows up. And you do have a lot of really good love cards here. So if you're looking for love, there could be a water sign. I feel like you've had a water sign showing up for you before. You have Pisces. You also have Aquarius. It could be like an Aquarius that's a Pisces cusp coming in for you as far as love is concerned, or it could be a Scorpio as well. Again, if you're looking for love. Really, it could be any water sign. You have pretty much every single one here. Next, you have the King of Cups. King of Cups, no matter what, is very stable. You can see here that he's sitting in some choppy waters. So even if things around you don't seem to be going as you expect them to, or don't seem to be going as you want them to, I do feel that you're kind of like putting on a brave face. I do feel that this is your energy at this time. I really don't feel like it's talking about like another person or someone else's energy or anything like that. I feel like it's talking about you and your energy. I feel like you're finding like a lot of stability as well, mostly in your emotions. I would definitely be careful of your emotions. I've been saying this for like the past couple months. Seems to be an emotional time. We had that Cancer moon a few weeks ago. And I would just say watch your emotions. I would make sure to take control of your emotions and guide them in the direction that you want them to go in. You also have the Two of Pentacles. Again, I feel this is partially part of the breakthrough. I feel like also the breakthrough really kind of comes at the end of the month here as well. But, you know, I feel like you're starting to have a breakthrough here in your life, and it's probably going to lead to more freedom. Again, really, I'm cheating. To me, the astrology is very, very simple for you right now, Taurus. I mean, your main focus should be anything that creates more freedom in your life. Freedom of movement, more freedom of your time, you know, and this is in all areas of your life, more freedom to express yourself, do the things you want to do, all that. And the Two of Pentacles, I feel, is kind of like a breakthrough or an option that's opening up to you that could be providing much more freedom. Next, in the area of the full moon that will be happening in Aquarius on August 11th, you have this well card. It says family wishes come true. And you also have this horse card. The horse is about like momentum. It's also about like putting in the work. So I do feel you've been working already. I feel like you've already been working towards success. The horse kind of reminds me to keep the momentum going. You know, it's one of those cards that says, don't stop, keep pushing forward. And you'll be very happy that you did keep pushing forward, you know, with this horse energy. Because it's like one of those things where you're building up a lot of energy with the horse energy. And it's like when the universe catches up, you're going to have a lot of wind in your sails. You know, it's like kind of one of those things where you might be working really hard on a project right now and not seeing the results you want. But really, you know, this card kind of sometimes reminds me of building up a debt with the universe, where the universe owes you, not the other way around, right? And I kind of feel that here, especially if you've been working on something. I do feel that for some of you that you know, you have that family wishes comes true. So if you have a family, there could be a wish. You could also be wishing for a family. I'm getting you end with the 4 wands. So if you've been hoping to like meet a person that you could have a family with, I definitely see that here. You have the 4 of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Page of Swords showing up in this row. The 4 of Swords is a card of resting, relaxing, recovering. You can see here that he's meditating on this card or sleeping, you know, take it how it resonates. There's a person right here who is blessing another person. And so we could say that he is hoping and praying for blessings or to receive blessings in his life. And, you know, the interesting thing is, is that I feel like you're no longer hoping and praying for blessings. I feel like this is a good thing, though. I feel like it's like you're not leaving things up to chance is the energy that I'm getting here for you, Taurus. I feel you're very much in the driver's seat. Like all those types of words are kind of popping into my head here, where I feel like you're more in a position of maybe wanting to take control, not wanting to leave things up to chance. And again, I feel like this is a good thing. You do have the Knight of Cups, which could be a knight in shining armor. You know, take it how it resonates. Knight of Cups is usually just a person who kind of takes our breath away, who sweeps us off our feet, whatever you want to call it. So there definitely could be love coming in for you with the Knight of Cups. He's also standing in front of this river, and he's in the desert. So the card itself represents being able to plant seeds in an area of your life where you feel like there is nothing available to you. Maybe you feel like there's nothing, you know, there's nowhere to go. Or you feel like there's nothing that you can do. And remember, at the beginning of the reading, I kind of got that feeling that some of you, it's like you are finding an opportunity in some area of your life where maybe you feel like it's been barren, like a desert, you know, like there's nothing there. You have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords definitely says start looking, right? Page of Swords is my card of curiousness. It's my card of like childlike energy. And sorry, there's like a little gnat flying around or something. But anyway, it's a card of looking for things. Sometimes I feel that's like the best thing we can do is just look for an answer, right? And then we will find it. I always say, like, I'm a big proponent of telling people to get the energy moving forward. It's like whenever you're stuck, as someone who is stuck for a very long time in my life, it's like, trust me, I've been there a bunch of times. And the only thing that has pulled me out of it is looking for answers. It's like whenever I have a problem, it's like I think people think like, oh, I have this problem, I need to find the exact answer to solve the problem. I say, just start looking. Because when we start looking, then the universe is like, oh, they're actually looking for a problem, here's a solution. So it's like if we start looking, then we'll be led to the solution. And we might not find the answer right away. And I would definitely do that with the Page of Swords. I would be curious. You know, sometimes, not always, but in your case, I definitely feel that curiosity is going to be rewarded with the Page of Swords. So I would definitely kind of, you know, look into that here with that Page of Swords energy. You have next in the area of the Uranus retrograde, which will be on the 24th, you have the take time to breathe out. This is the disseminating moon. You also have the mice, and it says discord amongst family or friends. So it kind of looks like family and friends towards the beginning of the month could be a little bit more positive. Then maybe towards the end of the month, there could be some things that pop up. What I would say to you is, as I've said a million times, Mars retrograde this year. I don't care that it's later in the year. I would avoid all arguments, all everything with people in the home. Every single year that there is a Mars retrograde, which is basically every other year, so every 2 years Mars goes retrograde, I make sure personally to avoid public outbursts, arguing in the home, creating problems with people, things like that, because the entire year just doesn't go well. And I would definitely say that with this energy. With the mice, I am, like, again, this card here, it says take time to breathe out. And you have this mice card. I kind of feel mice always symbolize being very, like, sometimes paying too much attention to the tiny little details of things. So if you find yourself being too picky over stuff, I feel like you need to kind of maybe back up and look at the big picture with this energy here. You have the Page of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Star card. Again, the High Priestess is definitely your intuition. I don't actually feel like this is a person. I feel like this is you, and I feel like you need to trust your intuition. I also kind of, with that Page of Wands, I'm gonna pull these both up together. You know, the Page of Wands is a card of going on an adventure, needing to go on an adventure. With these two cards together, it's kind of one of those things. Sometimes I think, like, you know, that we have to go on a journey to discover like what we're truly meant to do, if that makes sense. It's like there are plenty of stories of people in business where it's like they start as one thing and they end up turning into something else. You know, they start their business as a, you know, cupcake factory, and then maybe they turn it into a candle factory or something like that. And that's the thing that they're actually supposed to do. But it's like they wouldn't have discovered it if they didn't get started in the first place. So in this row, like on the 24th, during the Uranus retrograde, it's like maybe you're starting something. Maybe it's not exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but I feel like it's leading to what you are supposed to be doing. And again, if you don't get started, it's going to go nowhere. You're not going to go anywhere anyway. So I would definitely get moving with this energy for sure. And, you know, I wouldn't like wait. And I feel like you need to realize it's like kind of going to be an evolution that you are going through, especially for those of you in work or business. You also have the Star. And again, I kind of just feel more hopeful. I know that sounds lame with the Star card, but I get that feeling of something becoming possible. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, you have that triumph over obstacles card with the eagle. And I just get the feeling that some of you are kind of very hopeful and have a lot of faith that things are going to work out. So there's definitely like a turnaround or a breakthrough. I get more of a breakthrough vibe. You know, turnaround to me, it gives me more second chance vibes. I wouldn't really call this a second chance. I get more like you're still working on the same things that you've been working on in life, but you're just having a breakthrough and feeling more hopeful, probably because you're maybe being inspired with the Star card to coming up with new ideas, kind of finally feeling that, you know, almost that release or finally coming up with something. You know, especially in work or business, if you've been struggling to come up with ideas, I feel like you're like finally coming up with some good ideas that could actually work really, really well for you here, Taurus. Again, with that Page of Swords, I would be doing your research, you know, is what I would say to you. You know, especially in business. For those of you in love, again, like I said, I do feel there could be like a Pisces, Aquarius cusp, Aquarius, Pisces cusp, you know, taking how it resonates. There could be a person, you know, with one of those signs coming in for you if you are looking for love. Again, I see a lot of abundance here. Here's my problem with the High Priestess, is that she's a card of potential. It's like she has no roof over her head. There is no roof over her head where she is sitting. It represents unlimited potential. It's like basically beyond the sky is the limit. The sky isn't even the limit. She can go much farther than that. If she believes in herself, if she kind of looks into the mystery as well. It's a card of mysteries because it's like we don't know what is behind this tapestry behind her, but we have to kind of go on the adventure with the Page of Wands to figure that out. So whatever it is that you've been thinking about starting, I would just get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. I feel like perfection is definitely going to be the enemy of progress for you at this time. So I would just be like getting moving here. At the end, with the new moon in Virgo on the 27th, you have the Unfinished Symphony card, and you also have this wind chimes, which says peace and harmony on it, Taurus. So clearly, there's going to be a lot of peace and harmony coming in for you. I do feel like you could be finishing things up. Actually, it looks to me like you are finishing something. I'll just show you right now, actually. You have the Four of Wands, which is a card of accomplishments, achievements, and finishing something. You also have the Magician and the Hangman. The Magician, you can't see it, but he's pointing down to this other deck that I have. So you have this Grace card. What does it say on it? Wise Woman of the Grove. So I feel like, again, wisdom could be very important for you, but there's also, you know, I kind of feel like you're discovering some treasure. There's treasure in the middle of a forest on that card. But I feel like you have to go on the adventure with that Page of Wands. The Four of Wands is a card of freedom. So again, definitely your focus, like I said at the beginning of the reading. You can also see here that there are people celebrating on the other side of these Four Wands, and they've already been married. You know, a lot of people read this as a card of marriage. I definitely feel this is one of the few readings that I've done for these bonus readings where I actually feel like there is love truly available coming in for you. So if you want love, I would say put yourself out there. It could be meeting a person who you could marry with the Four Wands, who you could have a family with, because family definitely comes up here if that's what you want. For most of you, though, I feel like this is a card of accomplishment. You know, this looks like a finish line right here, and it always reminds me of accomplishment. It is, I mean, traditionally, it is a card of accomplishment in you know, tarot traditionally. So, and it is a card of kind of completing something. So I feel like you are. One thing I will say is it kind of looks like a pause symbol. You know, if you've ever seen a VCR, a recorder. It's like this looks like a pause symbol. So I feel like you're kind of coming off of pause or a period where you have been on pause. Hangman, right here. So Hangman says you have been on pause. And again, this is coming up on the new moon in Virgo on the 27th. So that new moon, it looks to me like a period of time that is kicking off this like new beginning, because Magician can represent a new beginning, starting something new, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. So it looks to me like you could actually be kicking something off at the end of the month for sure. I also feel like by the end of the month, it's like you have even more answers, you know? His head is glowing on the Hangman. He's gained enlightenment, basically. He's put himself on pause so that he could find answers. I do like to remind people with the Hangman that it definitely says, like, get going, right? With the Magician, again, definitely a time of like heightened manifestation. I feel like people like, you know, really could be manifesting things very quickly this month. So I would be, you know, practicing all the positive manifestation techniques that you possibly can. But let's, we're not going to clarify the whole reading, but we are just going to clarify a couple of things. The Eight of Swords want to pop out there. Every single person has had the Eight of Swords, I think. So, like I said, at the beginning of the month with that triple conjunction, whatever, all those planets at 18 degrees, I've said it a million times. I said it to all Earth signs last week, that I would be as flexible as possible. Being fixed and not looking for other solutions when you think that you're stuck is probably not going to be a good idea, right? Like, really, we can become probably ridiculously successful right now as long as we stay flexible, as long as we also open up to spontaneous opportunity as well. You know, I don't want to go too far off on a tangent here, but what I will say is it reminds me of just like me, not to talk about myself here, but I always tell a story. It's like when I was younger, like I had to do this camp thing at my high school, and like some of the kids, like a select group of kids had to go to this like camp thing. It was like a leadership thing or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but I didn't want to go. I'm a Pisces. I just want to stay home all the time. I don't want to leave, right? I don't like leaving my little Pisces home, and that's it. So I didn't really want to go, but I went. And by the time, you know, we got to the end of the trip, I didn't want to come home, right? So that's like the best way I could describe the energy, where it's like there could be some changes or opportunities that come in for you, spontaneous opportunities, like, you know, go travel cross country for your company and get paid a bunch of extra money. But maybe you're like, I don't want to leave home right now, right? But it could be a really good opportunity that has additional benefits. Maybe in your business, you have an opportunity to do something like speak publicly, but you're afraid to, or something like that. I would be, you know, taking advantage of these opportunities because, again, with this energy, they're going to be, you know, lead to a lot of success for you. I just want to clarify the Death card. You have the Devil here. Again, I feel like holding on to the past is the Devil. I also would say that, again, I don't really feel like this is that big of a deal. I feel like this first part is talking about the light and the dark, and that's what I would grab onto with that energy. I also do want to clarify this Two of Pentacles, and you have the King of Swords. Everybody's had the King of Swords as well. King of Swords is a card of turning like knowledge into wisdom. Knowledge is great. You know, we can all learn from books, and that's knowledge. But when we put it into practice, that's when we get like the wisdom. We learn things that you can't learn from a book, right? It's like, I'm sure if you happen to be an expert at anything, Taurus, it's like, you know that there are things you just can't learn from a book. You have to learn from experience. So I feel, and everybody's been getting this. So clearly everybody is like, you know, that's a collective energy. I truly feel that as a collective, we could be stepping into this energy where we're like learning from experience. We could be getting random, spontaneous opportunities to get like very quick experience. It's like, you know, imagine if you have an interest, right? And maybe you get some crazy opportunity to go learn from like a mentor, but you're like nervous and scared, and you're like, I don't want to, you know, I think the scary thing would be is a star card in your reading. It's like, you know, what if the star card, as far as the fear is concerned, is like, a mentor comes to you and says, hey, I want you to train with me, but you don't want to, but you feel like a fraud, right? You don't want to be found out for not knowing things. But really, this is saying those fears are all, you know, internal fears that don't exist. So let those fears go. It's like imposter syndrome. With the Knight of Cups in the second row, you have the Ace of Cups. I wanted to clarify that. Definitely love coming in for you. Like I said, one of the few signs that I truly feel has love coming in for you. I feel like it's a very supportive person is what I would say here. I kind of feel like lily pads. I feel like you're like, this is like a leap forward in love. It's like maybe you feel like you've been, I kind of feel two things here. It's like either you feel like you've been kind of jumping around from person to person to person, you know, in love. And I don't mean you're like just plowing through people here, Taurus. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm saying is maybe you've been like really trying to find your person. And I feel like that's what's going on here. I feel like you could be finally leaping on that last lily pad with like a good person. For others, I feel like you're just like, it's more talking about the leap forward. I feel like you're finding like a really good person that's like better than what you've been with in the past if you are looking for love. I also get something about communication here. Like there could be a message or communication coming in from a family member that really helps you in some way. For some of you, I feel like it's financial. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm having major deja vu. I feel like I said this to you recently, where it's like, you know, it kind of gives me the vibes of like you get a raise, your partner also magically gets a raise, like at the same time and you didn't expect it, right? Or maybe you're just getting good news from a family member, you know, but I feel like it benefits you in some way. Could have to do with business because I feel it's financial in nature is what I would say to you. Take it how it resonates. I also want to clarify this Page of Swords here. You have the Four of Cups. Again, I don't know. Sorry. I feel weird about the Four of Cups now. I don't really look at it as a bad card. It's a card of manifesting things. He's like manifesting those cups in front of him. In your situation, I kind of feel like it's saying don't settle. Normally, I wouldn't say that on the Four of Cups. The difference is that you have the star right next to it. The Four of Cups is like thinking the grass is greener on the other side. The star is the greener grass. I mean, look, much better location. So I would say if you're not like 100% satisfied with the things that you're doing, I would definitely make the change. Let's clarify the star right now. With the star, you have the Hermit. There you go. The Hermit, he has the star in his lantern. He needs to let that star out of his lantern. So I feel there are some, like there's an opportunity for you to have something that's much bigger. I feel like I've said this to you before, where it's like, it's almost like saying, you know, don't settle for anything right now, really, because I feel there could be like a lot of good opportunities for you to have a lot of good things in your life if you don't settle. I also feel the universe wants you, like sometimes I feel the universe wants us to exceed our own expectations. And I really get that for you here. I'm pretty sure Virgo had a similar reading about exceeding their expectations. So I would really dream big at this time. I feel like the universe wants people to do that. Again, we've been in a time of restriction. I feel like the universe wants us to expand now, right? And a great way to do that is to, you know, accomplish way more than you thought you could. I want to clarify this Page of Wands as well. You have the Knight of Swords. I would say don't go back to the past. I'm not talking about love here either, Taurus. I'm just saying that sometimes I think we stay stuck in comfort zones where it's like, you know, we want to start a business, but we have a job, and maybe we get talked into staying at the job, right? Maybe there are family members. Again, you have this discord among friends or family. I don't really feel this has to be that big of a deal. I just think it could be people saying things like, oh, why can't you just be happy at your job? Why can't you just, you know, your job is supportive and like all this other stuff, right? But I would swing the bat, you know, as far like, you know, I always tell people, call me crazy, whatever. Some people disagree and that's totally fine. Like nobody has to live their life like a crazy person like me, right? But I'm the type of person, I'm dying on stumps. My legs are going to be gone, right? Because it's like, I always swing the bat. I always take the big risks. Do I have a lot of failures? You bet your ass, right? I've had some doozies, right? Where I fall flat on my face. But at the same time, you know, again, not to toot my own horn, but I've been pretty successful in my short life and, you know, grateful for it for sure. But again, it's because I take these big risks. And you know, some people, you know, again, if you're not for it, by all means, don't do it. But what I would say is I kind of feel like this reading is saying, like, you're capable of doing a lot. And that's what I want to do. I want to encourage people to kind of live life to the extreme, because I know how great it can be. And so that's what I would say here, Taurus, with that Page of Wands and that Knight of Swords. I kind of feel like it's saying, if you settle on like just the job and not becoming the, you know, the famous writer or whatever the hell it is you want to do, then, you know, I feel it's almost like you'll be missing out on something. At the end here, I want to clarify this Four of Wands. You have the Four of Pentacles. I actually feel good about this. If you're in a relationship, this to me would be stability in the relationship. So I feel pretty good about that as far as love is concerned if you're in a relationship. For others, I feel it's saying if you want love, you have to leave a comfort zone. I don't know. I feel like that's true for everyone. So I would just get out there. And I also want to clarify this Hangman. You have the Knight of Pentacles. What are you waiting for? Look at this. Everything about him, he has the wisdom. We were talking all about this with the King of Swords. He has these oak leaves on his helmet, which say the oak leaves represent wisdom and knowledge in the tarot. He has these empty fields, and he's the only knight that isn't making a move. All you have to do is move. All you have to do is plant seeds and get started, which I was basically saying earlier, where I was saying, you might be starting something right now, like a new relationship, a new business, a new YouTube channel, a podcast, a blog, writing a book. It might not be the thing that you do. It might be. Right? But maybe it's not. Or maybe it's a bigger journey. Maybe there's a, you know, like kind of like a bigger picture here that you don't see yet. And that's kind of the feeling that I get from this reading. That's the best way. I'm not trying to make it sound dramatic, but it's like I feel like for some of you that it's like you could be, you know, starting a business and maybe it turns into something bigger. you know, and that's like the potential I see here. And, you know, I love it. And maybe this is a breakthrough you're having. So, love it, Taurus. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.